Morning. Welcome to Salary Board for July 5th, 2023. We will begin. There is no public comment. Or I should say nobody signed up for public comment. Item 3 on our agenda is approval of the minutes from April 5th, 2023. Any comments or questions on the minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Marseglia. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, approval of salary board actions. We have, we'll start with information technology. Mr. Regula is here.
Thank you very much for allowing me to come in today and to present an opportunity for the county to both save some money and become more efficient in the delivery of information technology services. I'm asking today for your approval to allow me to hire a support technician for our desktop environment. This person will help us with our mobility rollout as county leadership continues to try and bring government to the people. We have become more mobile. We have laptops in the field, more offices, and county offices on wheels in some respect to try and go and promote county government coming to the people. As such, those devices require more support and maintenance than your traditional desktop environment. So we are asking for a support technician to be able to support that. At the same time, we have transitioned services away from traditional programming to purchase computer services that allow me to offer up a position that we did have as a software support specialist to make this efficient and effective for the citizens of Bucks. Thank you.
Okay, so you're deleting one position that comes at a little bit higher pay and creating a position at lower pay.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, any comments or questions for Mr. Regula? No? Okay. Is there a motion then to approve items 1 and 2 under the Commissioner's schedule?
So moved.
Second, sorry.
Is your mic on?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
911 emergency response. We have it. There we go. Hey,
Good morning, everyone.
morning.
Thanks for having me here. The Department of Emergency Communications is proposing repurposing 2 of our per diem positions that are currently focused on data entry functions. And these 2 positions would transition to support an internship program focused on attracting individuals exploring communications and emergency services and public safety careers. In 2022, our department successfully hosted an internship program from a couple of local colleges. The experience was very positive on both ends for the department and the interns. Valuable work was performed in many areas of emergency services, and the interns gained relevant and applicable experience. We're thinking of sustaining an internship program will allow our department to build the relationships with local educational institutions and have a hand in supporting local young adults as they develop into our next generation of emergency professionals. These positions can also add new dimension to our department's recruitment efforts and staff some of our own vital positions. The majority of the positions previously held for the 2 data entry positions were absorbed by other members of our department over the last couple of years. And the 22-cent pay increase would bring these positions to $15 per hour, totaling an annual increase of $343.20 for both positions. It falls well within our parameters of the 23 budget. Thank you for letting me present this.
Okay. Any comments or questions regarding these 2 changes? No? Okay, is there
Motion
a
to approve?
motion to approve items 3 through 6 on the Commissioner's list?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we have our district attorney is here with some requests. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Morning.
Here. Excuse me. I have a number of positions that I'm hoping to create, and one that I want to increase the cap on. I give credit to the controllers. They spotted my error in trying to solve a word problem. I'm not good at math word problems, but they helped me with that. So I don't know, I'll defer to you, Mr. Chairman, if you wish me to do these one at a time, or if you wish me to address them all at once.
Let's do the finance manager one first. I think the other 5 positions kind of are all tied together. Is that fair to say, or all of them tied together?
Well, 4 of them certainly, and then 1 comes from a different grant, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll do them that way. I'll do the finance, and then I'll do the one from a different grant, then I'll do the 4. if
Okay,
that's
that's fine.
All right, thank you. So the assistant finance manager, as you know, we at the DA's office try to find funds wherever we can, and we have been very successful beyond, frankly, my wildest dreams. And so what that causes is a ton of financial management and paperwork required in my office. So I actually was beseeched by my internal finance department, because this person in the role has really grown. So what I'm asking for here is an increase in the cap to the position, but I will pay for that out of our forfeiture fund. So it will essentially be at no loss to the county. So that's that position.
Okay. Any comments or questions on that? This is items 1, 2 on the DA's list. Comments or questions?
Just to make sure financially, where's Dave Boscola? Finance understands that forever and ever, that'll cover it, your forfeiture funds?
Yes,
Okay, I just wanted him to nod yes.
write that down, Russell. So I make a motion to approve 1 and 2.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. And just because it's on my notes this way, if we could jump down to number 7, just so I
Okay.
can keep order here. I'll call this the, I'm sorry, number 7. This would be to create a new detective position. We applied and were successful in getting an enlarged insurance fraud grant this year. It's a 2-year grant. We've now had this grant, I'm going off the top of my head, for about 8 years running. We usually get it in 2-year blocks because we are doing a lot of great work. The Insurance Fraud Association has approved our grant to allow us to do even more of these cases. And frankly, as I'm sure you can guess, you can have as many cases as you can investigate. So I view this really as a credit to our office that they gave us this increased grant to hire a new detective, but I can't do so without the approval of the salary board. This, as with other grants, I will promise that this will have a sunset provision, meaning that if the grant is not renewed, I'm not going to fire somebody, but what I would do is agree that through attrition, once the next detective retires, and we average about 2 or 3 detective retirements a year, that I would not fill this position. So it would just remain vacant until we could secure additional grant funding. So that is my proposal here. We are ready. There's plenty of work to be done, and it's at 0 cost to the county.
Okay. This is item 7. Comments or questions about that? I guess the question, it's sort of the, I guess no pun intended, elephant in the room, is you're making a promise and for an office that you're not going to be in for the next within 6 months or so.
From your mouth
So-
to God's ears.
So I'm just kind of curious how that gets memorialized, if there's a way to bind future district attorneys to that promise.
It is in writing. It's in my application to the salary board, and I worded it probably much more articulately, but almost exactly as I've said it, so that I think that certainly the salary board and the people that help us with the budget can bind us to that, because you would say, hey, you made a promise, we're not gonna fund this position. I don't know how we could get around that, frankly.
You have
It will
that,
be in the
right?
minutes. Definitely be.
It's in the minutes as well.
They're not,
writing.
yeah.
It's in writing.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve number 7.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I think the next 3, I'll call 3, 4, and 5, because these, well, actually, no, let's do 3 and 4, I'm sorry, because these are similarly situated. One is a digital forensic analyst, one is a firearm data entry clerk. And then, although the 2 detective positions will fall under this grant, there are different sunsetting provisions that I'd like to discuss. But for these first 2, which is 3 and 4, we were able to secure a $2 million gun grant. And we've already been utilizing this like crazy to take down straw purchasers, to investigate cases involving the criminal use of firearms, and to take crime guns off the street. We've had tremendous success, but as you all are painfully aware, we're in an epidemic and there's a lot more work to be done. The Pennsylvania State Police right now is the only game in town when we have to have these guns analyzed or have ballistics evidence analyzed. And their backlog is extraordinary. If you have a homicide, which can't be any more serious case than that, you're lucky if you get the turnaround within 6 months in a homicide case. That's just not fair to the victims. It's not fair to the community that we protect. So the trend is, because these grants have been made available through the federal government, is each county is taking its own initiative and trying to create these positions, fund these positions, and do this investigative and processing and analyzing work in-house, if you will. So the grant did account for the following 4 positions, but to talk about the first 2, which are number 3 and number 4, digital forensic analyst and a firearms data entry clerk, these will be very vital to our next level of investigations. But I'm telling you, and this is in writing, that if we don't get this grant renewed and can't find other funds, I agree that these 2 positions will be sunsetted. And since there are no other positions like it on our manning table, that those people will no longer have jobs. I hate to say it like that, because it's going to be difficult for us to hire people, but that'll be my problem and not yours. Meaning, as soon as that grant ends, that's the end of those positions. I probably would seek to leave them vacant, not to get rid of them on the manning table, but that there wouldn't be no funding for those positions.
Okay. Questions about items 3 and 4?
I'm just thinking with HR and finance, would you want it to expire on the manning table when it runs out, or just say we're not funding it?
Yeah, can I speak to that, please? Mm-hmm. We recently had a detective position that was grant funded. It was Turnpike grant funded. The Turnpike grant expired. That position was not filled through attrition, so effectively sunset it, but we left it open and vacant, and now we're utilizing it for to hire an additional firearms investigator. So that rather than undoing and then redoing at salary board, we just left it vacant, and now we're filling it without having to come to salary board. So I would prefer to leave those positions on the manning table, because these positions are vital.
Frankly, I would prefer that you just come back and switch it at salary board, because I'm anticipating that crime will be gone, and so you aren't going to need these positions in the future. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. So I'm going to do this, but it does need to expire as far as I'm concerned, unless you go to salary board, and then we'll change it, or someone goes to salary board.
Well, but I wouldn't have the funding anyway, so I don't know how I could fill them if I didn't have the grants.
But let's pretend that this is like 10 years from now, and it's someone who is in high school now is the new DA. They may not understand what your commitment was.
Yeah, but it's in writing.
Anybody else have any thought on this? It doesn't bother you?
I mean, I'm effectively, it's ironic because I thought these would be the ones that I would have the least issue with, because I'm effectively agreeing that the minute the funding runs out, the people that work for us, that work for the county, keeping people safe, have to leave. But I don't want to handicap my office, my successors, in having to force them to then come to a salary board to ask to create a position which frankly already existed and is needed. I understand funding is something different, but I'm really not asking for much here, just to leave the positions open and available, because it would be malpractice for us to not try to fill these, to try to get funding and then fill them in the future.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so looking at 3 and 4, is there a motion to approve 3 and 4?
I will make a motion to approve them as is, with the sunset provision, but not to have them expired and removed from the manning table if there's no funding.
I'll second.
I would, before I call a vote, I would ask that this discussion, this part of the agenda, these 2 items, that the minutes be entered verbatim. Okay. All right, so motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Items
Okay.
5 and 6.
Next is number 5, and this is also for a detective position. This is through the gun grant. We were fortunate to get 2 additional positions, but they're going to differ in what I'm asking you for. The first one is essentially cut and paste as though it were the insurance fraud detective, but it's for a gun crime detective, in that if the grant runs out, and it's a 2-year grant, if the grant runs out, is not renewed, I will agree that it has a sunset provision, but through attrition, meaning that I'm not going to ask a detective to, hey, you have to pack your bags. It would be impossible for us. As you know, we recruit our detectives from the local departments. No police officer would leave their department and come to work for us if they knew there was a chance that they were going to lose their job. So I would propose that it's a sunset provision, but through attrition, meaning that once the next detective retires in whatever specific capacity they work for us, we would just not fill that position, but this person could stay on. So that's identical to the insurance fraud detective position that we just voted on and approved.
Okay. All right, so questions or comments? Okay. Is there a motion?
I would move that you approve number 5, as I just stated.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would note that also was included in writing in our submission.
Okay.
The last position is different. This is also an investigator, a gun grant investigator will be funded through the grant. If you looked at our submission, you'll see that because of the issue with police, the proliferation of gun crime, and frankly our need to attack it head on and quickly, we are one of the few large counties, and certainly maybe one of the only counties in the Southeast, that does not have its own firearms examiner. We would have to go to the state police, we would have to beg and borrow an examiner from Montgomery County. Oftentimes, it's just not practical nowadays. So this is somebody that has such specific and unique training that this person we would want to have become a member of our staff. Hopefully, it's not somebody, I think I was talking with Commissioner Marseglia, it's not somebody that we will have to train, it's somebody that we'll get probably from Philly PD or from the FBI or state police, one of the existing labs that already has the expertise. We just plug them in and they start investigating and start examining our firearms evidence. But this position, while it is grant funded for 2 years, is exceptional in that I am asking the county to make a commitment to its citizens to continue to fund this position fully if ever the grant runs out and is not renewed. And that's clearly a distinction because I'm asking the county to put its money up to help us with fund this position if we needed it.
Okay, comments or questions? Is there a motion for number 6?
I move to have that position approved as I've stated and as I've written in my submitted material.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right,
Thank you. I
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. McPhillips, Recorder of Deeds.
Good morning, members of the Salary Board. This morning, I'm requesting to make a change to our Document Processor Coordinator position. We'd like to change the title back to Document Processor, and in turn, match the salary to the other document processor salaries within our office. We are no longer in need of a coordinator due to shifting some of the positions after an employee's retirement. We're also asking to adjust the range from a 5 to a 4, and we'll be hiring for this position once the change has been granted.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
All right. I think your documentation said you talked to the union about this in terms of moving from 5 to 4. Is that an issue, or are we aware of that or no?
I'm not aware of that being an issue.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay. Comments or questions? No? Okay, is there a motion then for items 1, 2 on the Recorder of Deeds agenda? Did I make it?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second, motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you,
you.
appreciate it. All right, other matters to come before the board?
We have one matter that we would like to just reaffirm that the guardian ad litem department would now be moved under, or continue to be moved under the Community Services Division, rather than remaining under the Law Department as it was in '22.
Was it under 22, or I thought it was moved before that? Okay, I mean, this is a move we made before, just sort of reaffirming for a bureaucratic.
Correct.
Right,
For us
okay.
to
Yeah.
reorganize the manning table.
All right, so, okay, this is really just sort of cleaning up some paperwork. Okay, do we need to take a vote on that, or I don't think we need to take a vote? Okay, just reaffirming it. All right. Any other matters come before the board? No? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.